welcome to Calvary Lighthouse Church Sunday School. I'm Jessica, and with me, as always, is little Miss Lindsay. How are you?
Good.
Good.
Do you think you could help me with something?
Sure. What is it?
I have a friend at school who's nice.
Oh, okay.
And I let her borrow my stress ball for a few days ago.
And,
She hasn't given it back to me.
well, did you ask her for it back?
Yeah, and first she said she forgot it. Then the next day, she said her sister was playing with it. And then she did, and also she didn't give it back to her. And then the next day, she said she would give it to me tomorrow.
So what's the problem? Do you think she won't give it back?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because last week Elizabeth let her borrow a fancy pen she got as a prize and never gave it back.
Oh, I see. I think it looks like you're learning something about this friend's character.
What do you mean?
Well, character is kind of how you describe someone, but not describing like the way that they look, kind of like how they are.
Okay, like nice or mean?
Yeah, just like that. But there's a lot of other character traits besides nice or mean. This particular friend is showing dishonesty. So that means that she doesn't seem to be telling the truth. Do you think that being dishonest shows that you're a follower of God?
No.
You're right. And in our lesson today, someone's godly character makes God more known to other people. So let's do the take-home point, and then we can get into that lesson. What do you say?
Yeah.
All right. So today's take-home point, everybody. Did I say point?
Yep.
I don't know what I said. Take-home point.
Point.
I've done a lot of talking today.
Yeah.
Take-home point is godly character
Godly character
allows others
allows others
to see Jesus more clearly.
to see Jesus more clearly.
It's kind of a little longer one, but godly character
Godly character
allows others to see
allows others to see
Jesus more clearly.
Jesus more clearly.
All right, and we also have a Bible verse for you today. All right, and it's long. You don't have to repeat after me, but maybe we'll get it up on the screen
She's
for you.
gonna say it.
It's 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 12. Okay? Live such good lives among the pagans, that though they accuse you of doing wrong, they may see your good deeds and, I can't read what I wrote, and glorify God on the day he visits. Whew, that was hard because I could not read my own sloppy handwriting. All right, so 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 12. Live such good lives among the pagans that though they accuse you of doing wrong, they may see your good deeds and glorify God on the day he visits. Which is a great Bible verse for our story today. Do you know who we're going to learn about today?
Who?
Daniel.
Daniel.
Do you know what Daniel did?
Daniel and the lion's den.
That is the story that we're going to learn today. So we're going to learn about Daniel and the lion's den and what happened when Daniel
Got and fell in the lion's den.
Do you think he fell in there?
No.
Don't tell. If you know, don't tell. What do you guys think? Do you think Daniel fell in the lion's den? Was he pushed? Did he go willingly? Or did someone make him go? I don't know.
Made him go like this.
Okay. So, you know what book in the Bible the story is found in? The book of... Can you do a drum roll? It was the book of Daniel. Imagine that. All right. So we have our Bible event, which includes a video today. Then we'll have a little discussion after the video. We have a song and a craft.
Good. That's
All right.
Pretty normal.
All right. We're going to get that video rolling for you, and then we'll be back with some questions. Sound good?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Excelente.
God's story, Daniel. So part of God's story is about a guy named Daniel, and it goes like this. Daniel was a Jew, which means he was part of God's special family. But when he was a young man, a king called Nebuchadnezzar, let's call him Nezer, came in from the city of Babylon and took over. he chose the smartest, strongest, most handsome Jewish men to leave their home and come work for him in his palace. One of those young men was Daniel. Even though most people in Babylon didn't follow God, Daniel and his friends did. So they had to figure out how to obey God and serve the king. For starters, they had to go through a training program where they were fed royal food. The problem was, King Nezer had also offered that food to idols or false gods. And since they followed God, they wanted nothing to do with idols. So, Daniel had an idea. He asked the chief of the king's staff if he and his friends could eat vegetables and water for 10 days instead. If they got too weak or skinny, they'd eat something else. Well, guess what? God made them even stronger than the men who ate royal food. God gave Daniel extra understanding, too. In fact, a few years later, the king had a nightmare. Nobody knew what it meant. Daniel told King Nezer that he would ask God to show him. God did. After that, King Nezer adored Daniel. He even said God was pretty great, which was a big deal, because the king didn't even think about God before that. But soon, he made it hard for Daniel to follow God again. That's because the king built a huge gold statue of himself, 90 feet tall. Anybody who didn't bow down to it would be thrown into a furnace. This time, Daniel's friends were the ones in trouble. Their names were Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They told the king, "The God whom we serve is able to save us. But even if he doesn't, we will never worship the gold statue you've set up." So they got sent into the fire. Well, pretty soon the king looked into the furnace and noticed that there were 4 men, and they were walking around. An angel of the Lord was protecting Daniel's friends. They got out alive and didn't even smell like smoke. God didn't stop them from getting punished, but he did go through it with them. The king had never seen a God who would rescue like that. Afterwards, King Nezer didn't mind if Daniel and his friends worshipped God, but the king still worshipped idols too. So God sent him another dream, and Daniel told him what it meant. King Nezer would live in a field and eat grass like a cow for 7 years. In other words, he'd go crazy until he realized that God is the only one we should worship. Kids, God doesn't want everybody to worship whoever they want. He wants everybody to worship him. Anyway, Daniel kept working for other kings of Babylon, even after King Nezer. God continued to help him understand dreams and visions. And even though he had to give a lot of bad news, Daniel did excellent work, and he was really well liked by the kings. In fact, one king named Darius liked Daniel so much that others got jealous. They tried to get Daniel in trouble. But they knew the only way to do that was to make a law against God. They suggested that everybody pray only to King Darius. That made the king feel important, so he made it a law. Anybody who disobeyed would spend the night in a den of lions. Daniel kept right on praying, though, and when King Darius found out, he was sad. He didn't want to punish Daniel, but now it was the law. He said, "May your God whom you serve faithfully rescue you." And guess what? God did! He sent an angel to shut the lions' mouths. Daniel served 4 important kings, and he followed God. But whenever it came down to obeying God or the king, Daniel chose God every time, no matter what. And even though Daniel had to do some really hard things, God was always with him. And that's the story of Daniel. So in case you missed it, here's the quick version. Daniel was taken to Babylon. He asked for vegetables. God made him strong. God gave Daniel understanding. Daniel's friends obeyed God instead of the king. They got punished. God rescued them. Daniel understood more dreams. He was the king's favorite. Others got jealous. Daniel obeyed God instead of the king. He got punished. God rescued him. Daniel served God no matter what. And that's a part of God's story.
We hope you guys liked that video. We have a couple questions, a little discussion for you after the video to kind of make the story stick a little, okay? All right, so that was the story of Daniel and the lion's den, but it kind of started before the whole lion's den anyways. But before we do that, I want to ask you a question. I want to ask you a question about character, since that is in our
Video.
our take-home point.
Right? Story, take-home points.
Yes, all of it. So,
Oh.
what is character? Do you know what character is?
Well, it kind of told me in the skit a little bit.
So, do you remember though?
Is it like something about what, like, their personality, kind of.
Kind of like their personality. Very
like
good.
how they, like.
It's almost
I
like how
can't
somebody
explain it.
is. It's how somebody is, right? Like they
I
suffer
remember
things that they do.
me thinking like nice or mean.
Yeah. Okay. So it's kind of how somebody is. It's their traits, right? But not what they look like. It's just kind of based off of like things that they do. So traits can be like someone can be honest. They could be a liar. They could be lazy. They could be hardworking. They could be loyal, which means like, yeah, they kind of are always there for you, right? Okay. So traits can be positive or negative, right? Like out of those ones I just said, which ones are positive? Which ones sound good?
Loyal.
Loyal. Which one was one that didn't sound so good?
Lying.
Being a liar, being lazy, right? So character often has consequences. And they're not necessarily, consequences aren't always bad. There's good consequences that we sometimes call those rewards, but good consequences. So a good consequence of being honest. If you're always honest, what could be a good consequence for that? Like a good consequence.
Honest. Like.
Well, here, how about I do on this one and then you do help me with the next one, okay?
Okay.
So if you're honest, then people are always going to trust you. That's going to be a consequence, kind of like a cause and effect. Okay? If you're always honest, then people are always going to trust you. They're going to believe what you say, right? But what about if you're lazy?
Bad consequences? You could not be that healthy.
You might not be that healthy, right? If you're too lazy to go do exercise, then your body might not be healthy. Very good. So there's different consequences for different character traits. Very good. But there's this thing called godly character. What do you think godly character is?
Worshiping God and following Him.
Very good. So it's kind of being like God, but knowing that you can never be exactly like God.
You cannot like.
You can't be perfect like God.
You can't save somebody.
Because we're human and we make mistakes. But you can try your best to be godly, okay? By doing just what Lindsay said, following God and following His commandments and following His rules.
Praying.
Right. Remember we talked about, it was a while ago, but we did the 10 Commandments.
Doing
right?
anything about Him that's good.
And the 10 Commandments said don't lie. That's okay. Make sure that you follow, obey your parents, things like that. Remember those when we did those 10 Commandments? Okay. So when you do those things, right? This is going to our take-home point. When you display godly character, that means that people are going to see that in you. Do you think that you can tell the people in your class or people that you know, maybe at your sporting things or things like that, that you know have godly character, that display the things that are like God? Like, are there people that I'm not necessarily saying that you know that they go to church, but just so that you know that they're always honest and they obey their parents, they have godly character, they follow God's commandments, right? Worshiping God. Do you know of people like that? That you can basically see their character? Like, I feel like I know that my friends know that I have godly character, right? So they feel like they can see that just by knowing me and talking to me. They know that that's part of my character. Do you think people see you that way?
My friends?
Yes. Do they know that, like, obeying God and following God is important to you?
Probably. I hope so.
Okay, very good. Well, that's kind of what our take-home point is. It's like, do the people around you know that you have godly character,
So
right?
this is a kind of confusing lesson.
Well, a little bit, because we're talking about something that wasn't about Daniel and the lion's den yet, but we're going to bring it together, okay? So, I was just about to do that, actually. So, in our story about Daniel was very much a follower of God.
Yeah.
And there were lots of things that happened that kind of tested to see how good of a follower he was. There was lots of kings that really liked Daniel. And they would want Daniel to do things and Daniel's friends to do things. And when they were asked to do those things, they didn't do what the king wanted. They did what God wanted instead, right? And sometimes we get those tests, right? Like, our friends will ask us to do something that maybe we know isn't something God would approve of.
Oh, yeah, I think of that before. Like, they tell me something, I'm like,
right. And so we could say, well, we could do it and just ask for forgiveness later, but is that very godly? It is not. And our friends will see that, and they'll know that maybe we don't value God as much as we think, because we would rather do those fun things with our friends. But if we stand up for what we believe in and follow God, just like Daniel did, then everyone around us will see God's great character. They'll see, because those kings in the story at the very end, when they put Daniel in the lion's den, the angels came and closed the lion's mouth. God sent the angels to close the lion's mouth, so Daniel didn't even get hurt when he spent the whole night in the den full of lions. Right? And could you imagine the people, what they thought when he came out? They were like, wait, what? Those lions didn't even eat him? His God must be something amazing. Right? If he follows his God, he's got to be better than what the king is saying. Right? The king wanted him to only bow down to his statue because they made it the law, and he didn't follow that law, and so he had a consequence. But whose consequence was better?
God's consequence.
And it was a good consequence, right? He walked right out of that lion's den, and everybody could see his character. That brings us back to our Bible verse, right? Live such good lives among the pagans, so that means among the people, that even though they accuse you of doing something wrong, like Daniel, right? They accused him of doing something wrong because he wouldn't bow down to the statue of the king.
He wouldn't do the law.
Yeah. So they see your good deeds. They see how good you were. And through that, they will glorify God. They will see that God is great. God will protect us if we stand up for God, and he will be on our side, just like he did for Daniel and Daniel's friends when they were in the fire, right? And I can't say those 3 friends' names, so guys, sorry, I'm not repeating them. It's really hard to say their names. Okay? So Daniel never disappointed God when the king told him to do something, and we kind of have to live like that too. And it may be hard sometimes, and we may fail sometimes, but you know what's so great about our God? He's a forgiving God.
Yes.
And he can forgive us.
Totally.
Okay? I like this story because it does give me strength, and it gives me hope that it's okay to tell my friends, no, I can't do that, because that's not what I believe in.
Yeah.
Okay? I can't go watch that movie that kind of doesn't exemplify God.
Like it goes against
Yeah.
a little bit.
Right. So I don't want to go watch that movie, because my God wouldn't approve of that. And I think we had a lesson like that a little while ago.
And
we were talking about,
also,
would we be ashamed to show God what we did, or Jesus what we did?
And
right?
don't lie to tell them that you can't do that. Just say
Just
say
say
you can't.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, you don't have to make up another reason, because again, if you lie about it, that's not having
that's
godly
also
character.
not doing that.
Right?
So.
You can tell them the truth, and you don't have to be embarrassed to tell them that I don't want to do this because it goes against what I believe in.
Yeah.
Okay? And I believe in God, and I don't think that he would be pleased if I watched that or did that. Okay? Very good.
Yes.
We have a song, but I have to go get it because I just realized it's on my phone that we're recording with. So we're going to have to find an alternative way to play that song for you. So give us a moment and we'll be right back. Okay, we have our device and we are ready to perform this wonderful song for you. Lindsay and I are going to be your vocalists.
Yes.
And we're going to be accompanied by the computer playing a piano medley. But it's only... You be prepared for this whole minute and 49 seconds of gloriousness. And if you don't get the song on the first time around, it's short, it's sweet, it's easy. Just rewind it and play it again, and you'll catch it on. You'll catch on. You'll catch
and
on.
It's called Daniel and the Lion's Den.
Daniel and the Lion's Den. Gee, I wonder why.
I wonder.
All right, are you ready?
Maybe because we're talking about it. Like maybe that's our lesson today.
Okay, here we go. Daniel, 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 Daniel in the la 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 la. Daniel, 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 Daniel in the la la la. Daniel, 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 Daniel in the la 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 la. Daniel in the lions, Daniel in the lions, Daniel in the lion's den. Angel, oh, not yet. Now ready? Angel, 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 angel in the la 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 la. Angel, 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 angel in the la 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 la. Angel, 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 angel in the la 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 la. Angel in the lions, angel in the lions, angel in the lion's den. Now wait.
Angel in the lion's den.
You don't have to sing that one. Angel, 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 angel in the lot, 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 lot. Angel, 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 shut the lot, 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 lot. Angel, 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 shut the lot, 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 lot. Angel, shut the lions. Angel, shut the lions. Angel, shut the lion's mouth. And here we go back with Daniel. Daniel, 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 rescued from the lot, 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 lot. Daniel, 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 rescued from the lot, 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 lot. Daniel, 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 rescued from the lot, 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 lot. Rescued from the lions, rescued from the lions, rescued from the lions' den. Rescued from the lions' den. We did it! High five! Yes. All right. Now that we
Finally.
finished, all right. If you want to hear that wonderful rendition of Daniel in the Lion's Den again, I think we should be on Broadway. Obviously. You can rewind and watch it again. We have a craft for you.
We do.
We do. We do. Let's grab our supplies and let's get to it. All right. We have our craft materials.
I'm very short right now because you're not gonna be able to see me if I stand up. I'm kind of like gonna cut my head off.
We just cut her head off.
I don't know if we did or not, but
Okay, we're good. We're gonna get started. Okay. Okay. You're gonna need for this craft paper plate.
Yep.
Some scissors.
Scissors.
Scissors. The SC in scissors says scissors. You're gonna need a brown. That's not brown. What color is this? Orange. And
Brown.
yellow colors, so markers, crayons, color pencils, whatever you got. Even if you're lucky and you got paint, you can do that. And black. And you're gonna need some tape or glue.
Paper glue.
And a craft stick or no stick. If you don't have the stick,
We have
don't use the
three.
stick. I'm gonna get the stick though.
Got one. Two.
I just grabbed some plates. Okay.
Extra.
Step number 1, which I already pre-did just for the sake of time. You're gonna cut some eye holes in your plate.
Mainly.
Like ovally shaped. Got it? Easy peasy. If they're not ovals, it's no big deal. So if you're little and you need some help with that, have a parent help you.
Yes.
Okay? Once you're done with that, you get to do the fun part. In your plate, you see the circle that's right here on your plate? I don't know if you can see it. I hope you can.
I don't know if they have the same kinds of plates.
It's okay. Most plates have some sort of circle in the middle.
Yeah.
Okay? So you're going to color that circle yellow, and then the outside part orange. Okay?
Okay.
What are we making? Anybody want to guess?
I know.
I heard someone out there say lion. Did you hear it?
Yeah.
I did. Okay. I'm going to color the inside. Lindsay's going to color the outside. Ready, set, go. I messed up. Oh, well, it's fine.
Wait, you messed up?
I was going to draw the nose on there first, but it's okay.
That's okay.
I will just do the orange, yellow. I can't get my colors right today. I have an idea. We'll rotate the plate. Look at this teamwork. We're not even doing this on fast laps in here. We're just going so fast. All right. You need to rotate?
Yeah.
Zoop.
You guys can color this while you're watching us do it because, I mean, don't you want to do something?
You know
Not
what?
just
You know
watch.
what is stuck in my head?
What?
The song.
Daniel, Daniel, Daniel,
Daniel,
Daniel, Daniel in the la 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 la. Daniel, 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 Daniel in the la 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 la. Daniel, 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 Daniel in the la la la. Daniel in the lions. Daniel in the lions. Daniel in the lions. Dan. Bow wow. It's taking forever.
It's more effective if you color in the parts you haven't colored instead of continually coloring the parts that you have colored.
Wait, what?
Nothing. It's okay, keep coloring. I bet your guys' at home are going to look awesome.
They're gonna look amazing.
All right, can I help you?
Yeah.
Oh, now I have got this all colored in. And that's what we have so far. Now we're going to make our mouth on it, which you can make a triangle nose on there, or you could do a heart-shaped nose. What type
Can
of
I
nose
draw
do you
it
want to do it, Linz?
I kind of want to do that kind.
Okay, she's going to do this shape nose, which is a triangle nose. You do the triangle first. Okay, and then you do a J hook and then a backwards J hook. There you go. And then you can color in your nose. And then there's only 2 steps left.
Already?
I know, it's easy. It's easy craft. And you take your scissors and you can cut on the little, if your plate has little like lines on it, you can cut on each of those. You can cut on every other one just to make it look like more like hair. So you're just going to cut the little edges of the plate.
That's cool.
Thank you for the sound effects. Would you like to cut some?
Yes.
Maybe she won't patupa if I cut some. So keep going. We're a quarter of the way through the plate. Keep going. She's still patupaing. While she's doing that, I'm going to get my craft stick because that's going to be what's going to hold our plate for like a puppet. So I'm going to get tape on it. Although I can't put it on until she gets all the way back around there. So I will let her keep cutting.
This plate's kind of sticky because like all the marker we put on it.
Don't cut your hair.
Mom, can you get this further for me? We're like halfway done.
I sure can. You did a quarter, I did a quarter. I'll do the next quarter.
Do you want to
Or
watch
half.
me peel some tape off of this while you watch her cut? Very entertaining. Listen to this.
My nose is so itchy today. Oh, I made it all the way back around. I made it to one I had already cut. All right, so now
And now
you
there
can
is
even,
tape
like-
to shove my mouth.
you can even like kind of ruffle them up a little bit to make it look like it's a little less like a plate and a little more like hair. Well, they're not perfect. And then you're going to take your stick, and ours, a longer stick would be better, but this is okay. Put it on there, and then you have your lion.
Oh,
And
I'm a
now-
lion. No.
Now you've made yourself a lion mask. How's that?
That's so cool.
And pretty quick, right?
Yeah.
All right, very nice. Okay, so
Very, very
today we learned how Daniel,
How Daniel?
he exhibited godly character and people around him were able to see Jesus more clearly.
Uh-huh.
That sounds like our take-home point.
It sounds like our skit just a little bit.
No, it's our take-home point. Remember? Godly character allows others to see Jesus more clearly,
Yep.
just like Daniel did, right? He never did it. Wait, let me rephrase that. He did not give in to what the people said. He always did what he needed to please God. And God
Yes.
protected him, right?
Totally.
And other people could see how God was working in Daniel. And then they were able to see Jesus more clearly and see God working in his life and allowing people to come to him. And it's pretty amazing, isn't it?
Yes.
I want to be like Daniel. Do you want to be like Daniel?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't really want to be in a lion's den.
Yeah, that's what I was
However,
about to say.
If I know that God's going to be there to protect me, then I'm okay with it.
Mhm.
All right.
Fine
I
with
think
me.
that we can pray and say goodbye.
I
Do
don't
you want
like
to
saying
pray as the
goodbye.
lion?
Oh, sure. I'll
You gonna do the prayer?
that. Yeah, sure.
You gotta do it all from your own head this time, though.
Oh, I do?
You gotta pray like Grayson.
Okay. Now, what do I say?
Well, you say, "Dear God," and then you thank God for our awesome lesson, and you can even thank God for the boys and girls at home, and then maybe pray that we all can learn to show some godly character. Sound good?
Yes.
All right, then everybody, prayer hands, prayer heads, prayer
Can I-
hearts.
Thanks.
Ready?
Hold on, itchy.
Okay, now we're ready.
Dear God, we pray that we
Thank you.
thank you for this amazing lesson, and that we all learned something, and
All can go and show.
that we can all go and show
Godly.
godly character, and that we've all learned something. I already said that. I'm very not knowing what to say right now.
That's okay. God knows what's in your heart. So thank you, God, for this lesson, and thank you for all these boys and girls coming to watch our lesson. And we just go pray that they all go off into the world to show their godly character to other people, so that other people can see you more clearly in their lives and see what you are offering them, and maybe other people will want part of that as well, so that we can bring more
Yes.
people into your kingdom. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
All right, very good. Well, thank you guys all for watching. We only have a few more online lessons as of right now, and then we'll be back in church. So we are
in
looking
person?
forward to that. But until
Yes.
then, we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye. Bye.